And sister, dusk and dawn, shadow and light, an old memory. I remember it all too well, the look in Tion's eyes, the moment I began to lose my way. The day Tion reached level 2, I had leveled up as well. It was by the same method, killing one of the goals in our shared chambers. I like to fight. I thought that being able to fight was something meaningful. Somehow I believe that it's torture to just watch and hear the sounds of battle. But then every time I was forced to kill one of my sisters, I got a funny feeling. I was too young to know how to put it into words. All I thought was, oh, poo, I killed someone again. On the day I turned level 2, I returned to my room. Tion was there alone in the corner, her face buried in her knees. Who did you fight? Seldaz. Good. I'm glad you're alive. I'm glad you weren't killed. It had been what I had meant to with my word. I must have been relieved to know that Tion was the one that survived the battle instead of Seldaz. All I had been meant with was a fist. It was heavy, unadulterated ferocity. I immediately lost my temper. I was prepared to leap upon my sister. Nothing about this is good. Tears rushed from Tion's eyes. I simply stood there in silence, watching her weep. She grew even wilder after that. Everyone else now understood the truth behind the rites. We who survived the rites and reached level 2 were selected one by one by our most senior Amazons. It was an acknowledgement of their own strength and abilities. I was chosen by Bach, and Tion was chosen by Argana. On your feet. As Bach looked down at me, icy and unfeeling, on the cold stone ground, I felt fear for the first time in my life. It wasn't until later, once that we have both escaped that alone, Tion's training under Argana had been even more atrocious. Between the rites and our training, the time we spent in our room inevitably grew less and less, as did our roommates. In fact, by the time we realized it, we were the only two left in our little stone room. The constant training wore down our bodies and minds, our emotions, but all but dulled, and our only happiness came from our victories in battle. I've been crawling about the empty arena like a cat. I found a balled up scrap of paper that had been carelessly tossed away down one of the empty aisles, a piece of a story, the heroic tales. We are tightening in our search. I want to concentrate our efforts on three things: Node, Familiar, the Guild, and the old Modoc estate. Old Node will know something's up the moment we start poking around, so I'll handle him myself. But y'all have to take care of the other two. And what about the Cali Familiar? Ignore them for now, but if they do try and stick their noses in where they aren't wanted again, stay together. You'll stick with Ace and Reveria. I'm officially vetoing any right to object at this point. Unless y'all want to get shipped back to a warrior, I'd suggest you behave like good little girls. Any questions? No, then y'all are dismissed. I wouldn't worry Reveria's with her. I would if I could. I do understand what Loki was thinking. The two of us together would be a perfect target. Can't believe I'm acting like this. It isn't like me. You are worried about old man Modok, aren't you? We will think of a way to get inside the manor unnoticed. It's gonna be fine. You alright? Let me pick up your book. Miss, could you? Sorry, you just brought that. The man at the store, he told me they got lots of new books from the ship. You like that old legend? I'm about to read lots of them. Don't drop the num next time. Tanya? I like them too back in Telskiora. And it always used to make me smile exactly like that girl. Trot, the one who ta. Back and had been training me that day. I rummaged for the paper I had been hiding in the corner of my room and held it out. Will you read it to me? I can't read it. It's not written in Amazonian language, but I want to know what it says. I'll never forget the look in box gave me. The ever tactitone Amazon was clearly taken by surprise. Give me some time. She took the paper away and didn't return for days. She couldn't accept the fact that she, like a little child, couldn't read letters. It wasn't until a few days later that Bach returned, and once the training for the day was over, she read the contents aloud. Now realizing she was being deceived, the young man said to the king, "Understood, my liege. I will without fail save the princess being held captive deep within the labyrinth." I enjoyed my very first tale. I felt this warm, fuzzy feeling in my heart. Like every story, this one eventually comes to an end, especially considering this was only a scrap torn from a larger book. But thanks to this, I no longer saw Bach as a terrifying authoritarian she had once been. She was like my sister reading a story to me. Lead your enemy's attacks, draw them in until you can feel the wind against your skin, then parry. Just parry. Fair enough. The rigorous training sessions became more than a mere pain and suffering. In fact, it became almost fun. I, who had been taught to know nothing besides combat, found myself dreaming of other, bigger things. I wanted to know how the story ended. Upon completing another rite, Callie happened to ask me if there was anything I wanted. I only had one answer. I want to know the end of the story. Callie laughed. She sent me a complete undamaged book. My interest sparked, and soon, with Callie's help, I was reading Keon with ease. Bach seemed sad because you were a quick learner. Then perhaps I could teach her to read Keon. That's like beating her to death. From then on, every time I won a fight, I'd ask for another book to add to my collection as a reward. With every day that passed, my collection grew larger until Tion finally kicked the giant mountain over in a huff. The pieces of the story, the fragments of the heroic tales were changing me. While Tion was slowly descending into her own personal hell, my eyes were sparkling before the pages of books as I laughed and smiled. Before anyone had even realized it, I was already taking full advantage of my title of Berserker for laughing even when I was battling. Anytime anyone spoke to me, I laughed as I was always laughing. I was saved by the power of the heroic tales. You don't think I'm rude, do you? No. It's thanks to you that I'm able to have as much fun as I do now. Let's get going to the old man Modoc's house. Gather information sounded easy, but I'm tired. The fact that we can't let the guild and Modoc know. Lower your voice, but looks like we are going to end up not having any relevant information. Let's just hope that Ace and Revere's investigation is successful. We could be in for a whole mountain of trouble. The same would be true for Noj Familiar. Are you an adventurer from Aurario? Something the matter? A scary scream in the place I like to play. Sounds like just like those lawn monsters that came out of the lake. I'm not supposed to tell any grown-ups, but I'm scared. From over there. It's clearly a trap, you dumb wits. Doesn't seem like she's lying. My name is Loki. What's yours? Chandy. Oh, she's definitely lying. This is... We wouldn't have thought to search through it. Something's watching us. Did you notice? Those Amazons are here, aren't they? What the? Don't tell me this is an ambush. No fucking shit. There are those among the gods capable of suppressing the divine will. Zeus and Odin and the other great kings of the gods are not the only ones. They disguise themselves as children, blending among the populace, revealing in their own versions of merriment in the lower world. You learn something new every day, child of Loki. I hope you don't mind if I borrow that body of yours. Nah, that's fucked us. Didn't you have enough already? Fall back, calm yourself. If there's something you want, then speak, otherwise you will step aside. Is it Amazonian? I mean, a language used in Telskilo? What's wrong? So what is that supposed to mean, huh? Tell me. What is it? Let's go back. They were too much for us. Could you lend me a hand? Oh, this is... Who did this? This is fucking dumb. I guarantee you go and take some rest, okay? Picking a fight with me, is she? Let's not start a war right in the middle of the city, shall we? The fuck do you mean? She took a member. Of course they're gonna start. That's what's going on. We can't let them out of our sight. This is getting dumb. This is getting dumb. Over here. And you just let them go? What the fuck? We have taken a hostage. If you want her back, you and your sisters will come to the shipyard tonight. That's what Argana said to me earlier. Elfie and the others were attacked and Lafia was taken hostage. What are you gonna do? You even have to ask. We are going to settle this once and for all. Can we just ask for help from Ace and the others? Just how thick can you be, you piece of dumb bitch? But we are a family, aren't we? We are different from how we used to be. What they are after is the rights. What they want lies beyond the battle that we had. We are the only ones who can finish this. Oh my fucking god, you're so piece of dumb it. Can't help. I don't like hiding things from everyone. Feels like before somehow just the two of us. So, this is getting dumb. No, I looked everywhere. It's all my fault. I was with Tanya. I got so caught up and wanted to help Elfie that I forgot to keep my eyes on Tion. She is the one who coded with your Tanya. Pointing fingers will get us nowhere. What about Elfie and the others? They won't be up again for a while, but it shouldn't be long before their strength has returned. Aki and the others gals split up to look for them. Speaking of, they should be coming back right by now. The inn they were supposedly staying in until today was completely deserted. We snuck in, but to couldn't find anything. And even though the galleon they sailed in on is still there, it's completely empty as well. It's just the first time here. You wouldn't think they would be able to hide themselves so well. They have gotta have someone helping them. We have got to take care of the man-eating flower monster, and now this. Let's call for backup then. Fuck. I'm about 99% sure. Certain they are gonna make Tion and Tanya reenact those rites they used to carry out in Telskiora. That shrimp they call a goddess is nothing but a battle junkie. Anyway, we continue our search, and if we find them, we blow them away. Alice should be able to handle them by herself, but with you, feel free to blast them as much as you want. Look, I'm just gonna come out and say it. Lafia is nothing more than bait to lure in Tion and her sister. No one's gonna be threatening her life or anything. Then again, who knows what may happen if worse comes to worse. Nothing but combat in it of itself. A horse is just a blimp on the radar for someone who wants a full-on fight to the death. So we are supposed to go all out to beat them. This is starting to look like a war. You're the only one who's gone up against them, aside from the sisters with boobs. How tough did you think they are? So even the mid-level warriors will prove a handle. The fact that Ace and I are both using temporary weapons doesn't help matters either. What's up? Found this when I snuck into Modok's estate. Would you mind playing a messenger for me? Faster than now. This is an emergency. Everything you need to know should be written right here. Now all that's left is Tion and her sister. Sister. I still remember about that hell I have been through, the training with Argana. The day we met, Argana broke my heart. That combat-obsessed warrior was like a true depiction of what Tuscure was. Anger within me for losing Saldars was greater than pain and fear, so much that it was the very reason for my discovering of a skill. You're good. I can't be broken. I refuse to relinquish my will to fate. For my unbridled rage, she licked her lips stained with blood hungrily. It was when Argana rose to level 5 that my antipathy towards the Amazon took its complete hold. She molded her peers, those she had shared the same room with, eaten out the same pot with, just as Seldars and I had. You don't feel anything, do you? I consume them to become stronger, that is all. What else am I supposed to feel? When are you going to let go of Seldars? Then there's no point mourning someone who's nothing more than an offering. Even when she was wounded from battle, I couldn't beat her every day. I was forced to suffer in training sessions and weights. Would it be better if I die? That's what I sometimes thought, although I knew that dying would be nothing more than giving in to those I adored so much. I got a new book from Callie. It's hilarious. Want to read together? Somehow, in direct opposite to me, Tanya had grown all the more cheerful. I knew why it was those heroic tales. Never understood where the enjoyment came from. In fact, I thought they were annoying, and perhaps I hated them. The words had crossed my lips so many times to the point I had lost count. We have been thoughts of as weird Amazons as the other Amazons turned into warriors. I raged while Tanya laughed. Tanya received affection while I went against Callie. Callie looked at us in amusement, but it made us objects of jealousy among Amazons. This led to whispered hope that one day the two of us would be put in front of each other in the arena. Nothing happened until one day. I don't want to fight Tion. That stupid girl. We want to leave. Even Bach and Argana were stunned. Callie narrowed her eyes beneath her mask as she heard Tion's wish. Wasn't that Tanya? Yet the very wish she had put on hold all this time was about to come true only a few days later. Was I suffering from what could have been granted if Tanya was wishing for it? We were allowed to leave Telskill and witness the Cerulean Sea, the steep mountains, the clean air, and the mesmerizing world outside. Tanya ran about excitedly while I was crying beside her. I knew that I wasn't simply crying because the view was too beautiful. It came from the more complex emotions. Sister versus sister, dusk versus dawn, darkness versus light, rage versus innocent. How had we turned out so different? I was jealous of my sister that possessed what I didn't. That was the first time I realized I wanted to kill myself. Who would have thought all this would be here? We wait here until nightfall then, eh? What about it? Let's practice. You don't mean now, do you? I'm serious. We are going all out here. There's no point if we don't. Said we are going all out. You know, I used to hate you, as if you need to tell me. That's all you ever do. You haven't changed one bit. Ever since we met Loki and the others, and you started liking Finn, you have changed so much. That made me so happy. You make me so angry. I can't hear you. Here I go. You fool. Yeah. Another jaw. I'm still in the lead then. As if you have lost way more times than I have. I'm clearly in the lead. Nuh-uh. Uh-huh. Nuh-uh. Uh-huh. Haha. Why were we even doing that again? Doesn't matter now. Think we have been through the exact same thing in the past. One time ago. What are we going to do if Callie makes us fight each other? Fight and I'd kill you. Or at least I'd try, and if not, you'd kill me. I don't think it will come to that still. No way. Argon is too attached to you, like Bach is to me. What? Didn't they switch that up? If the two of us are gonna be killed, then I'm positive they would be the ones to do it. You're alright. I think so too. That's it for today. You doing okay? What do you mean? I already have the potion. I don't feel any pain now. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm fine. What do we do now? Nothing until nightfall. Rest, I guess, or do whatever. What? So, can we save our energy for tonight? We used to do it all the time. But only while traveling. You don't have much of a choice when you need to sleep outside. But you're the worst sleeping partner, you know that? I can't even begin to count the number of times you have smacked me in the face. Just for tonight? Alright. Nighty night. She never changes, she's always the first to sleep. It would be a lie if I were to say I wasn't impressed by the view of the world outside Telskit. Shamefully, I learned how Keon from Tanya as we traveled around. Everything was beautiful. I helped to restore the life and color to my raging heart. We joined and left various familiars. As for me, I've never opened up my heart to anyone but Tanya. I didn't even know what the true tale was. We'll be leaving again soon, right? We will, yeah. Why? You don't want to? Well, no, but it's just that the God here is so nice, and so is everyone else. But being with you is all I need, so it's fine. The feeling I had felt then, along with the feeling of being pushed out of my world, couldn't have been just my imagination. Tanya was the sun. There was nothing more radiant from my more frustratingly ingrating than her. The longer I looked at her, the looser my clenched fist became. I decided to accept it. She saved me. That's why I thought it would be fine, so as long as I had her beside me. It was 5 years into this journey that we decided to stow away on a ship and travel to the center of the world. It's just a way to kill time is all. I don't intend on harming you, don't be afraid. They are not strong either, they are normal chains, not methyl or some other type of ingot. Don't even think about it, Missy. I'm sure you have noticed already, but one move out of you, and these girls will be all over you. I don't recommend trying to whisper out a spell or whatever else you are playing in there. Some of the best warriors in Telskit. But if it's you just sit tight like a good little girl. You'll come out right as rain, right? As soon as this is all over, you'll be free to go. Hunting for weak points or anything like that. I just want to learn a bit about them, after they left Telskit and all. It's the trivial stuff I want to hear about. I know are strong, delightful all the time, and whenever we go on an expedition to the dungeon, what? You can't be serious. Tion in love? What a crook. It's not quite that funny. So that little runaway of mine has fallen in love. She really has changed. She had been a barren witch the rest of her life. I guess she's a different breed than us after all. It's like how Loki looks at us, her children. I thought she was cruel, demonic goddess. Her love for her children are real. Perhaps I could persuade her against all of this. Do you really need to do this? I highly doubt Tanya and Tion wants to fight. If you could possibly show them some mercy. No can do. I descend into this world seeking war and bloodshed. Don't get me wrong, I love my children, but even they can't come between me and my life's one true pleasure, so I'm gonna have to decline. Then you are the reason why Tuskegee is nothing but a land of death. That's why so many people have died. Simmer down, would you? Tuskegee was like that even before I came along. We gods condemned the stolen in the country's history and culture. That'd be a crime against the mortal world. The kids would resent it, yeah? The only thing I did when I got there was bequeath them my blessing. Child of Loki, do you know why I let Tanya and her sister go? Because they were the first ones. No one had ever requested to leave Tuskegee. Reject none who come, chase none who leave. If you want to skedaddle, I have no business keeping you. Of course, you have to give up all the benefits from my blessing as collateral, but that's how things go, you know? No one else had ever requested to leave. Every other Amazon had remained in Tuskegee, where the days of ceaseless combat had continued. Everything is the will of our children, as much as possible. Did you confuse me for an affectionate goddess, a child of Loki? All of us came down to this world seeking the excitement of our own. What is it you're trying to do? A lot of things, I suppose, but if I had to name one, create a future of war. I want to see it with my eyes, the perfect warrior born from the very limits of ceaseless bloodshed. We should get ready. What were you and Loki talking about yesterday? Don't even ask. I'm gonna go check out the world into town. About what Loki and I talked about. I'm afraid I'm not much in the mood. You know, Tion, if there's something on your mind, don't bother. You don't act like a patron deity any other time, so stop trying now. But maybe you'd be better off thinking of Finn. The way you're acting reminds me of when I first met you. You're even more on edge than you were then, so try to think about when you first met Finn. I like you much better, all mellowed out and cute like, you know? I wonder if Finn and the others are still upset. I still remember about the day we first arrived in Aurora. I remember how that sullen white tower and those lofty city walls had loomed over our heads. We were already level 3. We were approached by various familiars to join them. Our days were hectic. Tion was upset too, so at one point I shouted, "You want us? You gotta beat us." Everyone ended up losing miserably, and we were lamenting the ineptitude of those supposedly great adventures of Aurora. Look, Finn, they are lovely. I want them. You are making a scene. Their appearance aside, they have been rejecting all familiar recruitments, including those of high-class adventurers. Tion must have thought of us as a bunch of weirdos. We are also here because we want to ask you to join our familiar. We have killed so many of our brethren, and you still want us to join you. A mistake that came to pass only because we weren't there to watch over you, though you don't seem all too concerned about it. Stop pretending like you know everything. Tion hated Finn, at least in the beginning she did. You're the boss, aren't you? Then stop letting others do your dirty work for you. Fight me, or are you too scared, you cowardly Paloom? Saucy little lass, ain't she? And I thought Bet was bad. All the young folk in this hot-headed nowadays. You were much different when we first met. Alright then, I'll fight. I can't let myself be the cause of our entire race to be disgraced. And I'll take care of that drill. Here I go. The future, maybe? At that time, I thought of him as a weak, feeble Paloom. The renown of the so-called top-tier adventurer of Aurora meant nothing to me. And that's why I never knew about the fact that this Paloom was a braver. Yeah. Yeah. That's it when you're to join. That's it then you're to join the familiar. For the first time in my life, I felt something grow inside of me. My heart thudded loudly in my chest. I changed ever since I came to Aria and met Captain. Had beaten me so thoroughly, and that detestable Paloom had punched a hole into my heart. If I had to come up with one thing about Finn I didn't like, it was that he was too intellectual, not wild or rugged enough. And my thoughts betrayed me. As with just one spell, Captain could turn into a crazed warrior. He can easily manage to get on top of me. Whoa. Damn it, he's the one. As he fulfilled more and more of my requirements, I came to realize that he was truly my ideal man, a heroic warrior. Captain, what kind of girl do you like? I suppose someone who's upfront and honest would be enough for me, though if I had to say more, perhaps someone graceful. Since then, I cleaned up my dirty mouth and unrefined mannerism. I let my hair grow long, hoping I'd look more scholarly like Reveria. Tanya stared at me with a teasing smile, but I didn't mind. I went to sleep every night, excited about the next day. I've not opened up my heart to anyone but Tanya, but I realized our bonds with other people began to form. We learned the value of teamwork. That girl Ace, she reminds me a lot of you way back then. In many ways, no way I can let that slide. I'm gonna be friends with her. It was how little by little the three of us had formed a small group. Soon another member of Lefuria joined us too. I found someone to love, I found companions, I found a place to call home. That despair, the strafe, had all been leading to this day. It was by telling herself this, she was able to make a break from the past. Until now. It seems like before somehow, just the two of us. Let's go, Tanya. Tanya? Why are you staring at me? Nothing, let's go when... Navi and others found out that don't touch yourself, just got healed. And I just can't just wait here. I'm sure Lion is feeling the same too. Keep a lookout then by the pew. If you see anything, let's shoot something into the sky. I hope they are okay. Look, it seems Ace and the others have gotten wind of a possible lead down near the pier. I'll head to the fishing pier myself. We'd be best abandoning our original mission. We have far too many matters to attend to, even without our search for the violas. Tell you later, though, we still don't know just who's pulling the strings. Watching the ants scurry about from what? Taking out even one of Loki's top men would bring significant advantages. She has no choice but to turn her attention towards those rednecks. And if that becomes useless, and that law becomes useless, so be it. I'll simply find someone else, even if it does delay my plans. Back already? Is there a problem? I was on my way to do as you instructed, but what is this? One of these, is it? I only know that they have some kind of the connection to those sneaking around. You have something to say? I shall return to my duties. Did you bring my armor? Took you so long. Are you really so incompetent? You even left yesterday. You should have had plenty of time. I had to use that company who's getting us in and out. Come on out, my little Tion. Let me quench my thirst with your blood. And that's a way for you. You can't wait to fight her, can you? I can see it on your face. I look forward to it too. Let the feast begin. The long night is about to begin, my beloved children. Let me witness the fate of this war.